This episode of the Esoteric Order of Roleplayers is brought to you by the generosity of our backers on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/esotericrp to find out how you can become a backer too. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with all the latest news, and join our Discord community to chat with players and fellow listeners. The Esoteric Order broadcasts from Santa Fe, New Mexico. We recognize these episodes are produced on the traditional territory of the Tewa-speaking Pueblo peoples, and we acknowledge their community, their ancestors, their elders both past and present, and future generations. The Esoteric Order of Roleplayers present The Great Game, a Castle Falkenstein campaign, with David Larkins as the host. Falkensteinian action, and I understand the first thing I need to do is deal out some new hands here.
Right.
I will do that. All players.
Can we draw our own cards now?
Oh, well, I went ahead and did it. I did it.
Okay.
We can draw our own replacement cards.
Please feel
for
free.
Full deal, it's way easier to do it as the GM because you can just say for all players.
That's true.
And that's exactly what I did.
Just wanted to know that option was still on the table.
Oh, of course.
Well, not for you, though.
Oh, I'm the problem player. Yeah. I get it.
That's right. We established that last time.
It's canon.
Mm-hmm. Problem player identified.
And I can redraw my entire hand, right? If it's terrible.
Yeah, technically. Technically, okay. Yeah.
How does that work again? I don't think I've done that yet.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Did you just get like all twos?
Yeah, I also got a really shitty.
I did too.
Yeah,
I don't have anything. Everything's under 5.
Yep.
Oh my god.
No major arcana and all really terrible.
Yeah, David, you stacked the deck and you can't convince me otherwise.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, technically you need a major arcana to do a complete deck redraw.
Oh.
So
okay.
I would like to take this moment to rub in everyone's faces that this is me discarding an excess major arcana. And then this is me playing this guy, which means I get 5 in my hand for the rest of the session.
Whoa!
Ooh, nice.
In the opening credits.
I'm going to use my Wheel of Fortune, my 1 major arcana, which lets me dump my hand and draw 6 cards and then choose 4 that I like.
All right. Nice. I feel like I'm at a Magic tournament.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my hand because it's awesome.
You were just asking for informational purposes, right?
You were just like,
yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was me, whose hand is awful.
if a person has a horrible hand.
Makes it feeling better. Mine is fantastic. So
hey, as long as 1 or 2 of us have a decent hand.
Physical and swords are social and status.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously not keeping this piece of poop.
David, did you ever, by chance, I know you go to Gen Con. Did you ever go to any of the magic stuff at Gen Con? It's crazy.
I'll bet.
It's bonkers, dude. There's like a dude from Japan sitting across from a dude from Mexico.
Right.
And they're not even talking to each other. They're just playing cards that are in their native languages. And they're just
wow.
like, okay.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because they recognize the
Technically,
art.
in a Magic tournament, you are allowed to play foreign language cards as long as a translation can be made available for confirming the card's function.
There you go.
I'll bet they have referees around. So basically, you're saying it's like Street Fighter, but with Magic cards.
It's like Street Fighter meets if Street Fighter was played by NATO.
Yeah. My friend Jesse gave me some Japanese lands. They're very cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. This is how old school I am. I had a subscription to the Duelist magazine in 1995, back when it was like issue number 1, and they had some kind of promotion. So I got the German language card of Stone Giant, which was Steinreise, and I was very happy about that.
And that started a whole thing.
Yeah, it did. Well, I was already taking German at the time. So.
Nice. I had a bunch of Japanese Pokemon cards when I was a kid.
Nice.
And I had like the Japanese Team Rocket Charmeleon was so sick. It was insane. I think I sold it for a quarter eventually. But that was like last year. So.
Nice.
Like Beanie Babies, where you just holding out, hoping.
Oh my
it'd
God!
be like,
how's my stock? In Beanie Babies.
It's your retirement fund.
Yeah, I got the rare one.
All right, we all loaded up now. Everybody good to go? Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, so we left off last time with y'all kind of wrapping things up from the haunting of Broddick Castle, and finding out about a bit of hidden treasure. So I'm sure you're all looking forward to a little treasure hunt this week.
Mm-hmm. And did we establish how long it's been between then and now?
We have not, actually. Because we're actually going to start out not with a treasure hunt. No. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to go around, I'm going to have each one of you tell me a little vignette, paint a little picture for me of your character in the autumn of 1871, we'll even say October 1871, as if you had never met each other, none of this had ever happened, what would you be doing at that time in October of 1871? And Santiago, since you wrote something up already for the Obsidian Portal, we'll start with you.
That sounds good. Rather than just read what I typed up, I figure we'll do it live instead.
Yeah. Just a little, what Iskander is. What's a day in the life of Iskander right now? What's he doing?
Iskander was standing on the platform, and instead of fending off some local toughs who were accosting Sasha and her mother, it was just another day on the platform. He boarded his train and presented his ticket when asked, and arrived in Paris and presented himself to Professor Godot without any consequence or anything untoward. Maybe he had a bit of indigestion. It was the highlight of the day. Fast forward to the autumn of 1871. He's now teaching some tinkering classes, having demonstrated that he is an advanced student in the art, and acting as an assistant to Professor Godot, and working on completing his journeyman device, which, innocent of any tempering experience to remove his naivete, he still believes can be used as a force for good, and it hasn't occurred to him the great evil it could wreak in the world in the wrong hands. And he was still very interested in his physical regimen and keeping that up and maintaining it and perhaps increasing those skills. And so I feel like by way of searching for a local gymnasium to have room to do many squat thrusts and Turkish get-ups, he would have found his pancration studio and master, and discovered that was a great way to increase his physical fitness. And it was a lot of fun, actually. And there was a twist of romance through all of this as well, because as fate would have it, Sasha accompanied her mother to the University of Paris, who was invited as a guest lecturer, and they met at that event and have been exploring a friendship, perhaps budding romance, ever since.
Nice. Yeah, you bring up a few points worthy of mention. For indeed, your train passage, as well as the passage of all of you aboard the Duchess Elizabeth, was completely uneventful. There was no attack by a giant flying platform. You know, there were no toughs at the station to rough up Professor Reinhardt, as you mentioned, and it was an uneventful train ride, as you say. Unfortunately, of course, Paris has been racked by civil unrest these last few months, since shortly after you arrived. It all started with a attempted assassination outside a margarine factory, and has kind of escalated into periodic riots and police raids. The police showing themselves to be increasingly harsh and violent in their actions against the protesters. And there have been a handful of deaths and many injuries, arrests, property damage, all kinds of things. But you've been going on about your life as best you can amidst all this, and we'll just say that you're wrapping up a training session at the gymnasium, and maybe getting dressed in the washroom changing area. When a man in a plaid tweed suit with a waxed mustache and goatee and a little monocle sort of comes stumbling in, looks around, and then says, "Aha, Mr. Ozan, I need you to come with me at once." And we'll just leave that there. So then the next vignette, why don't we go to Breksta? What is the day in the life of Breksta in October of 1871?
Well, I imagine that heading on that train to Paris, I would not have been waylaid in my original intent to visit with famed French scholar Charles Athan Brasseur de Bourbourg, who is known for his extensive studies through Mesoamerica and for his very controversial suppositions that the Maya peoples were actually the survivors from the lost civilization of Atlantis. So he is known for his translations of Mayan texts, and again for his extensive travel in the area. And so I wanted to go and visit him to pick his brain a bit more. I'm of course a bit obsessed with the notion that there may have been some sister civilization, particularly one that I haven't seen. So imagine this late in the year, I'm probably trying to arrange to see if it's possible, to accompany on one of their forthcoming expeditions back to Mesoamerica to explore.
Okay, excellent. So is he like teaching at the university, this professor?
Most likely just doing some guest lectures. He seems very wrapped up in his more research-based work, not necessarily interested in tenure, especially since the mid-1800s are when he's the most active in his explorations. I mean, he's kind of on the verge of developing what's called the pseudoscience of Mayanism, so I think that my obsession is probably going to be what pushes him just over the brink into true pseudoscience, which of course back then, back now in Falkenstein,
Yes.
is probably absolutely correct. So I'm sure everyone's very excited, and he's got all sorts of graduate students just lining up to, try and accompany him as well.
Excellent, excellent. Cool. So, you're kind of working with him then, or what would you say? Are you attending his lectures? Like, what do you think?
I'd probably be attending his lecture and then perhaps sending an invitation, perhaps to something as innocuous as a lunch, to sort of pick his brain and ask him what he really thinks. Does he actually think this? Is it just whimsical fantasy, or does it seem true?
Excellent. So it's at a luncheon then. You've met up with him, a little sidewalk cafe in Paris, and you're just getting into the good part of the conversation. You've gone through the small talk portion, and you're starting to dig into some of this theory when a gentleman in a plaid tweed suit with a waxed mustache and beard approaches, gives a polite bow, and says, "Excuse me, are you Miss Boland?"
Yes. I don't believe I have met you before. Do I know you?
"You may have known me in a different time, madam. I am terribly sorry to impose, but I'm afraid I must pull you away from this pleasant luncheon for a most urgent matter."
Urgent, you say? Surely what could be so urgent that it can't wait for lunch?
"Only the matter of time itself." All right. So, next we'll do Frederick. What does Frederick look like in his A Day in the Life of Mr. Haas in October of 1871?
Well, I think he took the job in Paris and has been doing his best to, keep his head down and do a good job. He's trying to get back in the good graces of the royal embassy. So I feel like A Day in the Life would be him at the office. He's kind of putting in the late hours. Has his little apartment, within that complex that he's kept. Just him and Katsuboo. A couple of bachelors just doing the Paris thing. So I think it would be pretty.
So Katsuboo isn't fixed? Is that what you're saying?
We have to ask Katsuboo.
Okay.
And I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure unless some major event sent him back to Vienna or elsewhere, he would still be in Paris at the embassy. Probably working in the office itself, after hours, after everyone's left. Just filing away some paperwork and trying to, track down those scheming Prussians. He's sure that they're involved with this unrest in some way, but he just can't figure out how.
Excellent. So you've put in another long day. You've made some good progress, and you make sure to file your paperwork away correctly. And you're the last one out, so you lock up that wing of the offices in the embassy, and make your way down the stairs and out across the campus towards your apartments. When a man you've never seen before, a man in a plaid tweed suit, the waxed mustache and beard, falls into step beside you. And he says, "Excuse me, are you Herr Frederick Haas of the Austrian Diplomatic Service?"
So I'll, of course, and I'll shift, I'm sure I'm carrying, a briefcase and various papers. My hands are full, so I try to shift everything over to the other hand so I can offer my hand closest to him in handshake. And who might you be?
"Ah, sir, my name is not important at the moment. However, I do need you to come with me on a most urgent matter."
Okay.
Nothing mysterious here.
No, not the least.
Astrid approves.
And speaking of Astrid, what's she up to in October of 1871? Where did she wind up?
Well,
In her old body, first of all.
I know, all short and delightful. The train, the debut of the train went without a hitch, and being kind of a student of, an assistant to, Rhyme Engine Master, she had enough renown coming off of that to get a spot in her brother's, is plural, aeroship sort of design enterprise. You know, not really her thing, but she's using her degree for what she can. And one evening, a envelope is left on the desk of her workstation with a telltale handkerchief from one Miss Bernadette. And opening the parcel, it appears to be plans for some sort of radium-driven flying device, which she's not sure if that's a good idea, but she did tell her brothers about it, and they're very excited. And so she's kind of about it, but she's still doing her part of designing and working on stuff. So probably working in the workshop a lot is where she would be.
Okay, so no Potterfield.
No, not in this eventuality, because she only started looking into medicine after her friends got hurt on the train.
That's right, exactly. Okay, so you are deep in your work one afternoon when there comes a knock at your door.
Hello.
And so the door opens a little cautiously, and a man with a waxed mustache and goatee sticks his head in. He says, "Terribly sorry to bother you, ma'am, but I am looking for a Miss Astrid Faraday."
Oh, yep, that's me. And I wipe my hands on my apron.
Ah, very good, excellent. This is most unusual, I know, but I am in desperate need of your assistance in a matter of great urgency. I'm wondering if you can come with me straight away.
Oh, well, I'm always happy to help.
Excellent. Well then, if it's not too much trouble, may we leave straight away?
Oh, yeah, let me grab my bag. I grab my bag, throw my extra spanners in there, and follow him wherever we're going.
Okay. All right, and finally, what is Grizzly Grant Morgan up to in October of 1871?
Well, at this point, if we had never met, I probably would have never married Miss Holmes. So probably having lost that, I would have made it back to America, although probably did not make it back home. Probably just hit the East Coast, landed in New York, after the ship ride home, and found myself in New York for some time. Probably got called in a time or two to deal with certain riots happening in the area, the Orange Riots, for example. And then shortly after that, you won't read this in the history books, but it was Grizzly Grant who arrested Mr. William Tweed.
Damn. All
Boss
right.
Tweed. Yeah, you won't read that in the books, but that's what happened.
Certainly. Nice.
Yeah. I go big.
I like it. Great. So you're still in the Big Apple shortly after assisting with that operation, and you stepped out onto the sidewalk to hail a passing horse-drawn cab when a man in a tweed plaid suit, waxed mustache, and goatee steps in front of you and gives a little polite bow and says, "Excuse me, good sir. Mayn't I share that cab with you?"
Please, partner.
So you clamber in.
Yeah. I even hold the door for him.
Oh, how polite. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And as soon as the cab is underway, he says, I must confess, we have not been introduced, but I happen to know who you are. You are Mr. Grant Morgan, a.k.a. Grizzly Grant. Is that correct?
Been called that a time or two. But you have me at a disadvantage, sir. What is your name?
Ah, well, that will come to light in due course. First of all, though, I must ask, are you at all disposed to a transatlantic voyage? I am in desperate need of assistance.
Well, I did just get off the boat, but could you give me any details about the job?
All will be revealed at the end of the trip.
No. You you have my attention, sir.
You have my interest. Now you have my attention.
That's right.
All right. So, excellent. Now, cut to back on the Isle of Arran at Broddick Castle. As one by one, 5 of you arrive, each escorted in turn by the mysterious man in plaid. He seems to have timed your journeys perfectly so that you would all arrive on the same day. So most of you came by train and ship from Paris, but like he was sufficiently he left enough time, like in New York City to actually get on a transatlantic steamer and sail to Britain, and then get on a train with Grizzly Grant. And so, yeah, one at a time, he's escorting you up the walk to the castle, taking his leave, disappearing, and then, 15, 30 minutes later, another one of you arrives with him. Each one of you, however, are positive that you traveled with him the entire time.
Humans, they all look alike.
I was just going to say, I feel like the only one not puzzled by this is Breksta, given her experience of time and how it differs from that of mortals.
It's just not hard to make a couple of you. You find one prototype, you really like it, you just slap it on.
I'm just thinking I must be the only one without a tweed suit.
And so gradually your party grows inside the front hall of the castle. Laird McElroy is there to welcome each of you. In turn, introduces himself and welcomes you to the castle. He offers his apologies. I have no idea why you're all here. Your arrival was foretold by the local spirit who watches over this island.
Local spirit, you say?
Yes,
Indeed.
We definitely need to hear more about this.
I've been instructed to await all 5 of your arrivals and then take you to the back garden.
Well then, shall we
guess whatever we're supposed to help with is back there.
Yeah.
All right. So as the 5 of you assemble in the hall, Laird McElroy takes you back to the other side of the castle and indeed out into the small garden that overlooks the hedge maze, which all of you are seeing for the first time, of course. And there in the garden stands a lady in black, her face veiled, bony fingers interlaced in front of her. And in a whispering voice she says, "Welcome to you all. Please have a seat, for I have a tale to tell."
I have a seat. Are there chairs?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
A tea service is brought out, And so the Black Lady begins to weave a tale as a little flashback curtain descends over the scene. And now, as the curtain lifts, we are all back in the continuity of time from last week. So, it is October 1871, except you are all the characters you were playing last week, not the versions we just covered. You are gathered in the garden with the Black Lady. She has, called this meeting to tell you about this hidden gold.
Interesting.
It seems like it would be a little discombobulating to be jumped around like that. I don't know. How would one react to something like that, having those two continuities jammed in your mind?
Basically, you can think of this continuity as the story that she's telling to the other continuity, if you will.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So how did we get here in this continuity? Because I think we left off last. We were in the hallway, super spooky.
Yeah.
Threats were being thrown around quite a bit, and then some time passed, and now we're in the what happened in between there? I guess.
Well, basically, yeah, we kind of wrapped it up with a little epilogue last time, which was that since Breksta and Co were able to, sort of get her to see reason and not rip people apart, she was saying that, oh well, all I ever wanted was for this island to attain its former glory, and to do that we can buy back the land from the steam lords who purchased all the lots, basically. And in order to do that, I know where there's some hidden treasure, but it is not currently accessible in its current form.
Gotcha. And was that? Right. I guess I thought that was all part of the same scene, but I think
it was. Yeah. Okay, well, it was, more or less.
Okay. So
yeah. So basically,
we're in the garden now, or are we still in the hallway?
This is the next day.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, it's you all had agreed, like, okay, yeah, we'll help you find this hidden treasure. So since it had been a long day for everybody, it was agreed to meet the next day, the next afternoon, for tea and find out more details now from the Black Lady. If that makes sense.
So, what can you tell us about this treasure that would save your island?
All right. So, she says, well, in my travels, I ranged over many lands, but it was when I was in Transylvania that I found evidence of hidden caches of old Roman gold buried around the countryside. It was said that you could tell where these caches were buried by the blue witch fire that burned over them on St. George Eve. And so I waited patiently for that day to come. But when I went and followed the witch fires, I found all the gold had already been dug up and taken. Further investigation revealed to me that it is in the possession of one Lord Anton Dyer of Trevania, who used the gold to construct his infernal engine. What gold remains is deep in the vaults under his radium mines, protected by 5 inches of iron and thoroughly irradiated.
I probably look like a little bit ill, just for a moment, like, ugh.
Gross. So you see, that is why I say that although I know where the treasure lies, it is not currently accessible.
Tell me more about this what is it? St. George's Eve.
Mm-hmm. So St. George's Day, as you would all know, no doubt, is in late April. And I don't know if it's a movable feast or not. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, next year it's going to be April 23rd.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And it's late April, basically. Kind of depends on what church you're in as well. But
okay.
Anyway, St. George's Eve would be the night before. It's one of those, probably former pagan holidays that, they say, oh, well, the evil spirits come out on St. George's Eve, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
And so the Black Lady concludes her tale and says, although much of the gold was spent on Lord Dyer's infernal device, I am sure that which remains should be enough for our purposes, although it would be nice to have the whole amount.
Did he finance his infernal machine and we can, maybe turn it in for a cashback credit sort of a thing?
Yeah, store credit only.
Airships for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No one kept the receipt.
Yeah, sadly. So the Black Lady, spreads her spindly fingers in a gesture of helplessness and says, it was the best I could do. I know it's not much.
All right. And we're in October now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she said, just so I've got it straight.
Mm-hmm.
What happened on St. George's Eve?
So basically, these hidden caches of treasure are revealed by blue witch fire.
Right. Okay.
On St. George's Eve. And so she waited until that evening and then went to all the different places where there was the witch fire and was like, aha, now I'm going to get the gold. And
it was all gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So some bastard out there. Okay, well, interesting. Well, if the treasure is gone, do we have any clues or suspects as which to follow?
It's all in Travania, whatever's left, or at least according to the Black Lady, it is.
Well, looks like we got ourselves another one, gang.
That's what we need to do to help, I suppose.
There's not enough people around for me to turn into gold to settle the debts anyway. They all left for America.
Now that you've sent all the help away.
Yes.
That's right. Flesh to gold's not going to work so good if we don't have any human flesh, specifically human flesh.
Specifically.
The Laird walks by grumbling, sweeping a pathway.
Sylvania. That's where we're headed, huh?
Perhaps.
Indeed.
Perhaps.
Well,
a bargain struck is a bargain kept.
So
we must be away.
On a map, what is the spatial relationship between Transylvania and Travania?
All right, so Travania is basically sandwiched between Austria and Bayern, and Transylvania is, on this map, the closest would be where Bucharest is there. So it's kind of north of that, up in them there hills.
That's my favorite terrain. Them there hills.
Yeah, that's true. Heading for them there hills.
So it sounds like we have two options here. One is to storm Trevania or somehow access it and just start stealing stuff that was purchased possibly with this gold. Maybe legitimately. Doesn't matter to us. We steal it. Second option, which might also be included, is to investigate this blue witchfire and see if maybe Lord Dyer missed some gold, right? And we could see if maybe some's left over that we can get. Or if he hasn't spent all the gold, then we can find some of that sweet witch gold in Trevania.
Well, I think even before then, because if we need to investigate these witchfire, we're going to be waiting around till April. Not that big of a deal. But I think before then, we should figure out who knew about this gold and or who's brave enough to approach this kind of witchfire.
Is the witchfire all like located in one area, or is it spread out all across Europe? Or
it's mostly spread out in a localized area, let's just say.
Okay. And do we know what area that is, or has it been revealed yet?
You want to ask the Black Lady?
Sure, yeah.
So she says, well, it is mostly in the domain of Count Vlad Dracul.
Oh. No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, he sounds so cool.
Totally.
How cool is he? He's Dracul.
So, Haas brings his flask shakily to his lips. You don't say.
Spill some down his waistcoat, you know?
Maybe he would be able to let us know if someone in his domain was being sneaky around the witchfires.
Do we know about Dracula? Are we like, oh yeah.
His reputation.
Right. What's his app?
Breksta.
What's his app? What's his app?
So Breksta, you know of him certainly by rep, if not by app. Let's see here. Yeah, you know of him as the most powerful of a series of bad fairy-human crossbreeds.
As Vladdy the Baddie. Got it.
That require mortal blood to survive.
That's a long way to say vampire, buddy. Okay.
But like somebody like Grant, probably not.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I'm a big deal back home too. I get it.
But it's a regional kind of fame.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Frederick knows about him for reasons. Breksta knows about him just because he's a fairy lord, and she knows fairy lords, you know.
So I might look at, I see Alex. I see Herr Haas.
We do see Alex.
I see Alex right
Alex,
now.
we see you.
Thank you, everyone.
That's right. You're validated.
You are seen.
But I see Haas reacting like that, and I've seen Haas spooked before, but not quite to this caliber. So when I hear his little teacup chirping and chiming, I might look over at him and be like, Haas, you okay, buddy?
This is not good. Count and I have a history together.
I thought you were German.
No, I'm Austrian.
I thought you were Austrian. Sorry.
999.
I'm going to
Always
look
so
both
offensive.
amused and scandalized at the same time.
Ooh.
Like, ooh, Freddy, you bad boy.
Well, and technically Transylvania is in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, so.
Oh, okay. That shows Grant and Kenny's ignorance of the topography.
Yes, how dare you not be up on your late 19th century geopolitics?
It took all of my early game prep to figure out what the hell was happening in 1871 in America.
I'm shocked that you did not read of the Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867, in which the separate status of Transylvania ceased, and it was incorporated into the Kingdom of Hungary as Trans-Lithuania.
Well, that's my middle name. So yeah, I guess if Haas, I'm not going to press you if you don't want to go into details, but I think we should all know what we're signing up for.
Yes, but perhaps not here, as it is a longer story than what is appropriate. I must gather my thoughts.
Is the lady in black taking Q&A at this time?
Yeah, she opened it up.
Yeah, she's just
let's open
lined
it up for
up
questions.
behind the microphone.
right. Yeah, you got the line going. Yeah. Oh my god, she's suddenly sitting in like an overstuffed armchair up on a stage. Yeah, no, she'll answer any questions you have.
Okay. I don't know that I have any. I just wanted to.
God damn it.
I just wanted to make sure.
That was his question, is if she was answering questions.
I'm like, hey, excuse me, miss.
I have one question. Are you answering questions?
Are you answering questions? Yes.
How
Okay.
much gold would you need to be set? Assuming, I mean, we're going and collecting all we can, but how much is required?
So Laird McElroy intervenes at that point, and sort of stroking his mustache, he goes, "Oh, it could be a lot there." Where'd that voice come? It could be a lot. That's not Jock. It could be a lot. Those steam lords are cagey bastards. They'll try and squeeze every last penny out of us.
Yeah. If the Steam Lords are involved, consider me involved. I got a score to settle.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to know, Lady in Black. I don't know what else to call her. Lady in
Her
Miss.
formal name is Katir MacAnaba.
Katie.
Katie.
Katie. Mm-hmm.
I gotta say this, Katie. Is there anything you can do to help us in this situation?
So she once again looks a bit dejected, and she says, "Well, unless any of you have the ability to travel through time, I don't think there's very much we can do." Now, if memory serves, Breksta brought a guest with her, didn't she?
I did indeed.
Uh-huh. Was that young Bertie Wells, if I'm
Why,
remembering?
in fact, it was someone well mustached and down to party.
So, the other guests are present for this whole debriefing, of course. And so from in the back, like the veritable hobbit at the Council of Elrond, Bertie Wells pipes up and he says, I may actually know somebody.
I'm gonna turn around and look at him like he's an idiot.
Now, Bertie, now is when you're going to spill the beans.
Well,
so
yes.
Now than never.
Yes. I'm actually working on an account of his adventures. He's he's a time traveler, you know.
Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need.
Yes, he's invented some sort of time machine, you might even say.
Oh, that does sound interesting.
Shall I send for him?
Of course you should send for him, Bertie.
Yes.
Is there any way to avoid time travel? I don't like flying. I can't imagine.
Well, your other option, as you rightly outlined, is to basically mount a full frontal assault on Travania and Lord Dyer.
I mean,
I think Haas likes that idea better than going to Transylvania.
Ooh, good. We've got some conflict here.
yeah. I mean, Grant's like checking his revolver. And being like, hey, if we go through time, who knows what we're gonna? I mean, y'all already see what we screw up in the present. I can't. I don't know that I would trust us in the past.
Turn the whole globe into margarine.
Right, Lord Almighty, someone take my book away.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, Grizzly, it'll be fine. You aren't the one who has to make the time travel happen, so it'll go perfectly, I'm sure.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, we all know you have this tendency to just... It's like your ideas are just a little malformed in that peculiar head of yours, and they just don't come out.
I'm a little grandiose. I'll give you that.
No, but you know what I'm just gonna kind of go on just a little more than is like clearly polite. Just like, no,
right.
You know what I mean. Like, literally, this is your problem here.
Grant's just gonna nod and be like, I understand.
Is your wife like
I apologize.
Like,
yeah. Yeah, my wife
checks out.
If my wife is there, which she probably is, she's just like, I'm taking notes, Breksta.
Yeah, we need to have lunch.
What to margarine?
Oh, right, yeah. What did he want to do with the iron? Okay, well, I mean, if time travel's the only way,
it'll be the most exciting way. It'll be, I'm gonna like elbow Astrid, the newest way.
Oh, it's true. I mean, who knows what we'll see? Anything could happen. Anything.
Well, imagine what happened is going to happen.
Unless we make it not happen.
Oh, Lord.
There can be no consequence to this.
Well,
no paradox.
Right. There's nothing could go wrong.
Time is an illusion to begin with, and so everything will
Indeed.
be fine.
From what I've been told, what will happen has already happened. Time exists simultaneously, and it does not pass, we pass. Its passage is merely a trick of our brief perception. It should be entirely safe. Besides, I will be with you to keep you safe as always, my friend. Clap on the back.
That's right. Well, I pulled the almanac to 1985 out of my pocket. And
we'll have Haas's insider information to help us be safe, and you can have my little friend that I've almost finished making, and he can help you out too.
You made another friend?
I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
We'll have to trade him hats.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I mean, I could see I'm outnumbered here. So I guess call in whoever you gotta, and let's get this damn thing over with.
All right. Let's see here. Astrid, do you want to take the moment to demo Fez for everybody's benefit?
Fez is an invention that Astrid started working on basically as soon as she lost Potterfield because she was bored and lonely. And so she took a fez, she took a hat, a tarbouche, if you will, and she put some automaton mechanical crab parts in it. And now it's her new little friend. And his little legs fold up so you can wear him on your head. And nobody knows he's there. But he has two little manipulators. And he has his little scooty legs. And he can run around and get stuff for you. I'm working on some add-ons. But for now, he's just great and adorable. And the best.
This is the most whimsical thing I've ever seen. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, well, I do like...
with like 4.
4.
Oh, just a little Fez army. Like we all have one. Like,
yeah.
I'm imagining them just like scuttling around my manor, you know, like around the grounds, just forming like a feral colony in my house.
Somehow they start breeding, you know.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, if it moves, then clearly it, you know, looks like a crab. Probably is a crab.
That's right.
I don't know how crabs work.
Crab's gonna crab.
Looks like a crab, feels like a sneaker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do like that more than. I mean, I do like Potterfield. Don't get me wrong, but I guess this one's...
You can't wear Potterfield.
You can't wear Potterfield. You can smell them a mile away, but you can't wear them.
Not with that attitude.
I was gonna say, technically, I think Potterfield is wearing Potterfield, so...
That's true, actually.
That's probably a good point.
No vacancy.
All right, so Bertie sends for his friend, the time traveler. Obviously, it'll be a few days. Anything you guys want to do while you're waiting?
I'm going to give Bertie a terrible time for finally spilling the beans when I've been pestering him for all of these months, and he's just going to go and open up all of a sudden when some black lady says that we need a time traveler. I'm so mad about this, and I'm absolutely going to be his own personal, good-natured little poltergeist for the next couple of days.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'd want to do everything I could to research and find tomes around various castle library parts in the area for like witchfire and like the lore around this whole thing and everything, if I can find anything about that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the castle has its own well-appointed library.
I think at dinner, maybe that night, or one of the coming nights, Haas will tell his sordid tale to everyone. His his first job was with a lovely count up in the mountains, not far from, strangely not far from his home in Innsbruck, which is quite far from Transylvania, but I'm sure there was some dimensional shenanigans afoot. Won't go into all the details, save to say that he was there for a very long time, even though it was a short time here in the mortal plane, and that he left on terrible terms, and in fact it has been expressly verboten from returning to the Count's domain, implicitly on pain of death, but at very least on pain of some, other, horrible outcomes, and that he expresses his anxiety for returning, and you maybe can tell that there's some things he's not telling you about, but he does have a very encyclopedic knowledge of the region, and in particular the Count's castle and surrounding area itself, so that could be of use if we decide to go with this option, which Haas is still not in favor of. He still preferred the frontal assault of Trebania, if at all possible.
He'd still prefer to run down machine gun nests rather than...
To be fair, that would cause Astrid some conflict, because there's no way that she would want to like put Haas in danger of being killed for going somewhere. Like, that's not cool. So,
Frederick, you always do this. How often time do we have to tell you? You're just the worst judge of character. You can't just go around trusting people. You just... What were you thinking? That's
Honestly,
right. You weren't thinking.
No, I wasn't.
Wasn't thinking with his head, that's for sure.
That's right. I'm like, Haas, come on, dog.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm sure that the Count could see through a fairy glamour, but I don't know how good he would be at detecting, say, sorcery. And it turns out that Grizzly is quite good at having very lasting and believable effects with transmogrifying the human body, and so perhaps you would feel safer if you were
Haas is all about that.
Else.
Haas would way prefer being the experimental.
We all know Astrid loves how she looks right now.
She's gonna love the way she looks. That's right.
Grant
Probably
guarantees.
forever.
That's right.
It's got the Grizzly Grant guarantee.
magic will happen.
Magic will happen.
Captain EO style, just rainbows and sparkles.
Right. Well,
there's one hell of an asterisk
idea.
at the end of that.
Haas, you let me know. You let me know, Haas, and we'll make it happen.
Oh, Haas is all about that.
Makeover.
All right, give me 10 minutes.
Oh, we need a montage.
God. Looks like Potterfield. No.
Do you really want me to change how you look? The proof is in the pudding, bud, and the pudding's still good.
Yeah, you might end up with like a green clay mask and cucumbers, but like for real, like
That's
cucumber
right.
eyes. You know, like that's your
You'll
actual
always
final
look
form.
relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your actual final form. To be fair, I have not tried to make Astrid look like Astrid again.
True.
Well, practice
Because
makes perfect, Grizzly.
I've been too afraid to ask you to try to change me back.
Practice makes perfect, Astrid.
That's right. I have been practicing. And
Now
Jesus.
you have a willing participant who will actually let you inflict whatever sorcery you might conjure upon them.
That's right.
With like no consequences.
Virtually
He
inexcusable.
trusts you. Oh no, Freddie.
Yeah, yep. I trust you fully, Grant.
Okay.
Oh, I've learned nothing.
All right, let's do this. What do you want me to make you look like?
Would it
Haas?
help if I held up a picture of what he should look like next to him to
feel
help
the
you
fear.
concentrate?
I mean,
Oh,
I think you
yes.
look pretty good, you know, to what you're supposed to look like that one time back then, you know?
Yes. It has lasted much longer than advertised.
Right.
And also, I do look like someone who is very traumatically linked to my past, but it's fine.
I do
don't
understand.
cry a little every time I look in a mirror. It's fine.
All right, look. All right, I'm going to fix this. You just have a seat, Astrid.
We're gonna body swap.
No, Grizzly, I said
We're gonna Freaky
We're
Friday.
going to Freaky Friday.
Oh my god.
I'm going to fix this. Haas, you're up first. And then Rainy.
Practice.
Rainy. My God.
You're gonna change me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna practice my Haas accent.
Are we sure yet that we're even going? So this is a time traveler thing. Like before we do the
well,
Freaky
just
Friday
in
thing.
case, Freddie, you know how long it takes for him to make these things happen. We need to get started now.
If there's one thing I'm vulnerable to, it's peer pressure. Okay, do it.
Yeah, who do you want to look like? Jonathan Harker?
See who?
That
Those
seems
still
safe.
Keanu Reeves.
I know. Whoa.
It seems
oh,
only
yeah, just a
fair
different
that you would
Keanu
make
Reeves
him
character.
look like Carl Gross.
Ooh.
Oh, that's true.
Oh no!
no.
Well,
That
hey,
would
this is
be-
very appropriate.
Astrid looks
Yeah,
like
keep it
Bernadette.
going, yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
the Carl Gross might
Stick
have a
with the
little
theme.
too much. He might be a little too well known. We probably want someone, or unless we want to totally potentially ruin Carl's reputation by using that to our advantage.
Huh. Well, I'm going to leave that up to Haas. I mean, I can make you look like anybody, really. Or nobody.
Probably somebody we know would be safest, right? Rather than trying to imagine something and I turn into kind of a weird, like, somewhat human-looking creature. It's like,
Why don't I make you look like my wife?
That's
Yeah.
getting
Oh,
awkward.
God, I am not even touching that one.
Dude, when you said somewhat human looking creature, I just immediately pictured Mary McCheese. Like, yeah, that's just
I was picturing Cronenberg's.
Oh, totally.
I was picturing that Jesus painting that the lady retouched.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Potato Jesus.
Wow.
you know they botched another one in Spain. With this
They
one
did.
was
the
The
sculpture.
sculpture.
the bas relief, yeah, in the
Yeah.
cathedral.
Yeah.
That one was even more disturbing. That looked like a
yeah, that has like
that
the
one looked like a
mouth
stress.
eyes.
Yeah, it looked like a stress doll, like that
With
you
the
would
stress
squeeze.
squeeze,
Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah,
like a mad ball.
yeah.
It really did.
No, it was like full on Lovecraftian horror, like, but what if mouths for eyes?
Pretty much.
a little Mr. Bill going on a little bit.
There you go.
Like he did look a little. Oh no!
All right, Haas, you let me know. I'm gonna get set up. So, yeah, I'm gonna go get a room ready.
It's like setting up your tattoo station. You're like,
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
What I
I'm
have to
like,
work with.
I'm like,
Maybe
I
with
should probably clean this.
More tarp set down in case of.
That's right. I set down a tarp in case he turns to butter. I'm taking precautions, people. I get the candles out, the nice ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I set the scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. So, yeah, I think I don't really have anyone in mind, so I think we're just going to roll the dice and see how this turns out.
yes.
Okay,
Just,
I think that's totally fine.
Just follow your instincts, Grant. See where they take
Alrighty.
you.
You are the
Alrighty.
sculptor.
You are the sculptor. Oh god.
Now, before you jump in on that, I will say that for Astrid, in terms of your researches, you did determine that. So what you found is that this is like sort of peasant folklore of the region, and they say that on St. George's Eve, any hidden treasure is revealed by these blue witch fires, and that from what you can tell, they're scattered all over the countryside. So they're like definitely like outside of the Count's domain of dread, if you will. Not to use terminology from another game, but
Okay.
being succinct.
I feel like from the descriptions, there's something that truly only exists at that time? Or is it something where if I had the right refraction or lens, if you will, that I could peer into the dimension wherein they live the other days of the year?
They're always there. They're in a physical location. It's just that, in order to find them, it's like Forest Fenn's treasure, right? Like imagine one night a year there was a blue flame before it was found. There had been a blue flame burning over it. It's that kind of thing, So like you still kind of have to go look for it, which is what Katie, could like tell you, like, okay, so flame here. She could like mark it on a map,
Oh, awesome.
and then you would just have to wait and like spot the flame when it lit up, basically.
Yeah, then I probably would spend some time with her drafting a map of at least the locations that she spotted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right. So, meanwhile, there's magic afoot.
That's right.
Always goes well.
Let's do this.
Hey, it would be amazing if just this one time it went off without a hitch.
I needed
Well,
to.
to be fair, it's always David's fault because he's the one who draws the major.
That is
True.
true. That is true.
I'll take that upon myself.
I needed to go good twice. Because Haas needs to be my proof of concept. I know he needs to be my proof of concept, and for Astrid to let me change her back.
Proof of concept.
That's right. Here's my rough draft.
Fast forward to a fucking like just some chaos spawn like on the rug,
Totally.
Yeah. Just make a little farting noises out of his various orifices. All right. So here we go. So what is Frederick being turned into? Did we determine that?
He's gonna look vaguely like Mozart, because Mozart's Austrian.
Like straight up with like the powdered wig, but that's like what his actual hair looks like.
Your actual hair.
I love the idea that that's what Grant thinks Austrian people look like. So it's like a nondescript Austrian person.
I'll make you look Austrian. Don't worry. Just
at least it's not the 20th century, because Grant would make you look like Hitler.
Totally. Yeah, I'd be like, well, I'm pretty sure Hitler was Austrian.
Like a Hitler mustache that he can't shave off. It's just like always there.
Oh, it's like your vampire curse. Like you try to shave, it just immediately grows back.
It's actually technically skin. God. It's not even hair.
Oh god.
It's a skid mark under your nose.
All right, so my sorcery is better than it was last time. It's great now.
That is true. Point. You have been studying.
I've been studying just a little bit. Granted, I'm a little rusty.
Now, my question to you is: the whole original plan was that you were weaving an illusion, because that's your area of speciality.
Yeah.
And we got what happened was we got a major arcana. And that's what made it permanent and irreversible.
Right.
So this thing with Frederick, are you just proof of concepting it that it's like, hey, look, man, I can cast this illusion on you later when we're in Transylvania. Observe, or are you actually trying to like physically change him like you did with Astrid?
If I can give him an illusion that lasts a while, or like I said, like if I'm just like, I'm good now, guys, like I've learned my lessons. This is I've been taking notes. Right. Then I think that's fine too. But I do need to permanently alter Astrid back.
That's a whole other kettle of
Haas
fish. Yeah.
I feel like Count Dracula would see through an illusion.
That's true.
So
I might have to alchemy you a whole new body.
I think we're going full. Yeah, we're going for full transmutation here.
Okay, fair.
Physical transmutation.
So
that's why it's a proof of concept.
And I'm like, it hurts. Just saying.
Is this when he's already like strapped in? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm like, bite down on this.
Tell him to choose someone who has the same height as you. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
Lord.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to make you...
Mozart.
Yeah, you're going to... tall as Mozart. I'm like, I don't know. I never met him.
I'm just working off this tiny cameo portrait.
Right, yeah. Look, I'm pretty sure I heard one of his songs.
Like porcelain white, like albino.
You're always like looking to the left.
I cannot turn my head.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so, all right.
Start channeling my Masonic powers. I got the book out.
Okay, so you're going.
Off the cuff.
So, well, you kind of are because you're trying to you're trying to turn an illusion into a permanent polymorph again, to borrow other games terminologies. True. So,
polymorph is in Falkenstein.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough then. All right, so let's see here. It's closest to another spell called. Wait, what was it called? Where'd you go? Okay, Shape of the Unknown Form, since you're trying to shape him into somebody you've never met before.
Okay, fair.
All right. Spell duration. If you want it to revert for Frederick, that's, you could like set it to like 1 month, a month of duration if you want.
I think that sounds fair.
Okay.
Haas, what do you think? When do you want this to expire?
Or do you want a year?
A year.
How do we know how long this endeavor might take? I don't want it to expire.
If we have to wait
we're in the
for
middle
St.
of dinner.
George's Day or whatever, then that's not for a few months.
That's 6 months right there.
Yeah.
So I say a year.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we do 8 months? Why don't we do 8 months? Is there a difference in spellcasting between 8 months and a year?
No. It's kind of a logarithmic scale, so it's like week, month, year.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to have like insane like body dysmorphia for longer than you need to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, you haven't asked me, and I've been too embarrassed to ask you.
That's so Victorian. It's just like you've been doing all this shit together, and it's like, well, it's never come up. No, neither one of us mentioned it.
She seems fine.
I'm like, she looks happy. She's laughing all the time.
Yeah, I'm just like eating like bread in the corner.
I'm gonna get you fixed before we leave this castle. I'm gonna get you fixed.
Katsubu goes wow and runs out of the room.
Right. Not you, Katsubu. We do that with a rubber band where I come from.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. All right. You do know the subject well, so that's a point in your favor.
Nice.
Okay. All right. And obviously this is a physical transformation, so we're going with wands as our suit of choice.
That's right.
And okay. So what is your sorcery at now? It's at
great.
Great. All right. So you only have to accrue 23 points of power.
23 minus 8?
No, that's with the 8 already factored in.
Okay, good.
It was 31 to begin with, so.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So
hey, why do you look like that, Grant?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Haas.
What is this shots?
I hand him absinthe.
Right. Yeah, like, take a drink. Yeah. All right.
Super gold.
Is there first before we go? I'm nervous.
Yes.
You were so confident before.
You're nervous.
I know. I'm like, you don't want to see a nervous doctor. You definitely
whoops.
I know. Yeah. There's nobody. Just to be sure, there's nobody in the castle that can help me out with this.
No, there's no sorcerers on the Isle of Arran, sadly.
Okay, fair. Hey, that just means I'm the best one here.
That's You're simultaneously the best and worst one. You're Schrodinger's sorcerer.
I really am.
All right.
Okay, let's do this.
Here we go.
Let's party.
Let's party. All right. Let's see.
That
is a 7 of cups.
Okay.
Not much use to you.
So that's a 1. We need wands, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
no,
for
already.
fuck's sake.
Here we go.
What was that?
God damn it.
It's the Fool.
The Fool.
No.
All right, let's see what the Fool does for you.
I don't know what it does in this sorcerer's deck.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not the Fool. That's the Hanged Man.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the Hanged Man. Yeah, you're right.
Which is
I think this is the one you got before.
Yeah. I know this one well.
The spell warps and becomes a new spell entirely. The host decides.
Is this a margarine situation?
This is the margarine situation. The host decides what form the new spell takes.
This is not my fault, first of all.
Is this going to be like Katsubu 2?
Oh, yeah, Katsubu's a little friend.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, you could be one of those badass like that bronze monk. Oh man, it could be awesome.
You could become a street shark. That would,
Oh, a
Land
cowboy
shark.
of Moo Mesa.
Shark. Am I Boulette, Dave?
Let's see. You could be. You could be if you wanted to be.
I didn't see
here.
David shuffle these cards. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wish there was a little shuffle animation because I did. I did shuffle them.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's an interesting option. I kind of like that one. All right.
Damn it.
Oh, you could
So is
become a
that
blood
stops
golem.
cold, right? That's it. There's no more rolls, no
that'd
more,
be
no more
awesome.
cards being drawn. It's just.
Yeah, I guess so. It just says the spell warps and becomes a new spell entirely. The host decides what form the new spell takes.
Wow. But the spell does work. I mean, like we said, magic happens.
Magic happens.
Warping is a kind of working.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see here. Some interesting, interesting options here. Ooh.
Are you going through the monster manual for D&D?
No, I'm looking at all the
Something
stuff.
that can wear a fez. Then it'll be fine.
Oh, maybe he gets transformed into a fez.
Or like a little monkey.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well,
Let's see.
maybe you get transformed into a.
If he's a chimpanzee, his strength would be so much higher. Like,
That's true.
He would be ripping off faces and testicles and all
Straight
sorts
for the
of
genitals
stuff.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Testicles.
Iskander would make him one of his vests, so he'd have a little vest. It'd be great. Well, if he's a chimp, it'd be
I
I
would
learned
love
how
to be
to
a battle
play
ape.
like a little organ grinder thing.
All right. I am going to go.
Sounds
with-
lucrative.
I'm going to go with an interesting alternative here. So the spell warps. It is no longer a spell to change the physical form, but rather it affects Haas on the mental plane instead.
Now we're talking.
Okay, so
Okay.
Alex, I'm going to
It's a secret
private message you this, since it's something that's happening on the interior landscape.
I just want it to be known that none of this was my idea. I simply consented to it.
But surely, Grant, you have to accept responsibility for the fact that this is, your abilities that is making all of this magic happen.
A gun's just a gun.
No, the best part is like you finish casting your spell and you're like, well, doesn't look like it worked, but he looks fine.
Right,
Nothing
yeah,
bad
exactly.
happened.
I'm like,
Right, yeah.
I'm as soon as I see it like it's not going the way that I anticipated, I like stop casting and I'm like, I'm not feeling it right now.
Yep. All right. Any questions, Alex? Or you got an idea there?
I'm typing away.
Ooh, excellent.
Okay. Well, it can't get much worse than that. So
He didn't turn to margarine.
He didn't turn imagine. That's right. So, Astrid, I'm ready whenever you are.
But
I don't know, Astrid. It looks like he wasn't even able to change him at all. Maybe he's just a tired old man and he needs some rest, or...
Well, I am a little tired. I mean, it's been a busy week.
It has. That's true.
So, Haas looks around, looks down at himself, and looks up at Grant and shrugs. Well, it was worth a try. Would you mind removing these tight constraints, please?
Of course.
Yes.
I'll walk over there and get the restraints off him.
Thank you. Gets up, brushes himself off, reaches for his little flask of absinthe, and lifts it to his lips to take a sip, chuckles to himself, puts the cap on, and puts it back in his coat. Well, I think I will go for a walk now. Toodles!
Classic Haas. Nothing suspicious here.
I just realized that Astrid's the worst character to put in a land of vampires, but we'll see how it goes. Because they'd be like, "Can I come in?" And she'd be like, "Yes, please come in."
Yes, of course.
I'm terribly sorry. Would you mind removing all the garlic from this property? Of course.
Right. All right. Well, Astrid, are you ready?
Yeah. How are you feeling about that?
No, I mean, it didn't seem like your spell was able to work this time, so maybe...
I mean, you know, Haas, there's a delay on it where, you know, because we won't be going back for some time. So, yeah.
So, you hear Haas whistling in the background as he's heading outside, and see him kind of wandering in the backyard with his hands in his pockets, just looking around.
He seems
whistling.
fine. So,
yeah.
Sure, let's go for it.
Seems great. All right, let's do this. We'll get it over real quick.
This will go so well.
All right, well, the good news is, since you're trying to turn her back into her old form, the cost won't be quite as high, since you're not, you're more familiar with that version.
There we go.
Yeah. You're not trying to make her look like...
Fine.
You're not trying to make her look like, Queen Margaret of, Saxburg Gotha or something. Like...
Right.
All right, so let's see here.
Nothing could go wrong.
That? Yeah, exactly. And, yes, duration would be the other question. I assume you want to go with permanent.
Yeah, I would like permanent, for sure.
Okay, well, that will offset the savings then, unfortunately. We're going to have to add that back, so... let's see here. Barely knows.
Although I'm really enjoying the thought of it not actually being permanent, and just one day Astrid just like boop.
Yeah, and it's sort of like the Hulk, because all my clothes rip as I grow like 2 feet.
Yeah. Oh man. So let's see. You saved 3 points by knowing the subject well, but then we're adding 8 points back on for permanency. Brings us up to 36. Minus the 8 for great. Takes us down to 28. Okay.
All right. And there's nothing I can do to make that lower.
We are looking at the exact same cost as we were with Haas. So obviously it's going to be fine.
Actually, it's worse.
Oh, yeah.
Haas was 23.
Oh, okay. So... Close.
And I need wands, right?
You need wands, yeah.
Here comes... I'm feeling a king of wands. I'm feeling it.
Let's go with an ace. Let's
it's
aim
not
high.
A king of wands.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
all right.
Could be an ace. Because
I have the king of wands.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, because it's in the magic deck. So
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's an 8. That's that's a 9. A 9 of wands.
9.
We're off to a good start. 9.
Boom.
All right. So
what are we at? 19 now?
19 points to go.
19.
Mm-hmm. No, 19.
Oh, what is this?
The tower.
Oh, it's the tower.
That's
My God.
That's an awful card. Just generally in tarot, like that's not the one you want.
Right. No. In tarot readings, it's not a good one, but in Falkenstein, it could be the best one.
I have a feeling that a card that deals with horrible things happening, especially dealing with hubris when it comes to a magic user, is not necessarily going to turn out great.
Yeah. So Grant, you're gathering the energies here, and this is outside of your normal training. You're just trying to kind of chase that feeling you had when everything went so wrong the first time. So you're fumbling your way through. It's like trying to teach yourself electrical wiring on the fly, and
I've done
that. And so yeah, you some of that energy actually slices through you physically, unraveling part of you. So I am going to draw a card to see how much damage you take. And let's see here. If it is a numbered minor arcana, if it is a minor arcana face card or major arcana face card. Okay. What did I get? I got I got a King of Cups. That's not good. Okay, so you're casting the spell and suddenly you feel this this tremendous pain like shoot up your arm and across your chest, and
oh God,
and indeed like some of your skin actually like does literally unravel up your arm like like in a kind of a whip-like motion, and so like blood starts to soak through your sleeve.
Well, that's just embarrassing.
Oh God, yeah. I ripped my shirt off so you can see my old man pecs.
Got that Iggy Pop body.
That's right. And also the ribboning flesh from my arm to my chest.
That's less impressive. More really horrifying. Is. Yeah.
I just screamed like, someone get my bag.
Yeah, I fall to the ground. Screaming.
Yeah.
Seems like an appropriate response to
screaming is an appropriate response.
Yeah. My wife probably screams so hard she passes out.
Oh yeah. She definitely a faint in order for that one. And
she swoons.
Nice. It's a whole scene. Absolutely, of course.
Now, is this like an injury, or is this like because it's caused by magic something where this is now lost flesh? Like, is it something I could try to treat? Or what's going on here?
You could certainly try and treat it. Yes, it is a physical wound, so you can try and treat it.
How much damage is? I mean, like, I feel like I remember Falkenstein characters don't necessarily die.
Correct. You only die if the player wants to die.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you're incapacitated, basically.
Does that incapacitate me?
That is a good question. I was actually just trying to look for the injury section here. Okay, what is your courage?
My courage is great.
And your physique?
My physique is average.
Average. Okay. So no, it would not incapacitate you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I still go down screaming, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess so. Like, nothing happens to Astrid, though.
No.
Okay.
You can continue casting the spell if you want.
No. I mean, should we?
No, I've already gotten up. I'm shuffling through my bag. I'm gonna get ready to do some medicinal treatments for your ribbony flesh.
Alrighty. Don't turn me into a fodder field.
I mean, it is rather festive. It is a bit like a maypole, wouldn't you say?
Like Breksta is all leaning in, like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Is that you can unpeel all of them this way? That's so strange.
It's like one of those China pencils. You just pull the thread, and then the wood strip just comes right off.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess I'm not incapacitated, but I probably, I hit the ground pretty hard. Obviously, the magic is sucked out of the environment.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Kind of kill the mood.
Yeah. Sorry about this, everybody.
A little bad, maybe. Because I really did think he could, but I guess
appreciate your vote of confidence.
We were all rooting for you.
When that's Grizzly's character arc.
I wasn't expecting you to get ribboned, like to get spiralized or whatever. So
like a spiral cut hand.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
'Tis the season. All right. So I have physicianing. Let's see. Physician good.
Okay, that's sufficient. So you are able to treat his wounds. And so basically what that means is that untreated wounds take a number of weeks equal to the number of wounds you took to heal. But if they're treated, that bumps down to days.
Oh, cool. And then this will be up to Kenny as a player as well. But I like the idea, because this is such like a cool magical injury that you've taken, like your skin spirals off, which doesn't freak me out because I've seen some weird stuff now. Like I yell for someone to go to the garden and grab me like this plant that I saw out there. I'm preparing all of my stuff. And basically as part of the repair, I've like packed it with this like woad paste basically. So you now have this cool like blue like tattoo spiral down your arm.
Yeah. That's permanent too, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe the spiral scar, it's like all keloided out, and instead of being all like red and pink, it's blue from the medicine.
That'd be cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm way into that. And from now on, Grizzly Grant will have no sleeves. Always sleeveless. Yeah, he gets any suit. He's like, fuck these sleeves.
Unless it's like Red Dragon style and you only show that off when you're about to cast magic or something.
Now we're
like
talking.
Tearaway,
yeah.
Time for casting.
Whenever I try to cast a spell, that one sleeve like bursts apart, because there's like magical radiance and pain from my scar.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's like dirty output
That's
whenever
right.
you try to do magic.
Totally. So now whenever I cast magic, that arm, I imagine is probably my right arm. My left arm probably holding the book. So my right arm spiraled out. So now whenever I cast something, that sleeve will just like kind of blow off Hulk style.
All right. I approve. Okay, well, that was it didn't get the results you're looking for, but it definitely got results for both subjects.
Magic happens, Astrid.
Yeah. Hashtag magic happens.
Well, that's how we pass time while we wait for the time traveler.
That's right.
It's been a long time since I had a t-shirt idea. I like hashtag magic happens.
Yes.
Make a note of that.
Totally. It's got to have the who put it there? Was it Breksta? Yeah. Magic happens asterisk.
All right. So, you do indeed pass the time. You get into all kinds of shenaniganry in that way, as we just covered. But in due course, there comes a knock at the door, and the man who is admitted is wearing a plaid tweed suit with a waxed mustache and beard. You've never seen him before.
How many how long did this happen after the magic fiascos?
Probably the next day, so you're still healing up.
Okay, yeah. I'm still probably in bed then. My wife doting on me and trying to heal me and all that stuff.
True, yeah. Okay. Well, for the rest of you, you meet with the gentleman in the parlor, and he says, Mr. Wells informs me that you are in need of my services. How can I be of assistance?
Oh, it's you. Oh, well, please, won't you come in and have a seat? And, I'm sure we can find some tea or something for you. Oh, right this way. Just fangirling so hard. Probably never seen me less composed ever.
Right. And in the manner of all, people who are confronted with that sort of fanish behavior, he's just like, thank you. Yes. So, what is the nature of your problem?
Well, you see, in order to help this great island, we need to find treasure that's under the witch fires. But it's been taken already. But if we go to when it hasn't been taken, then we can get it.
I see. So you wish to go back to a time before the treasure was taken.
I mean, right? And I look around.
Haas nods. Oh yes, that sounds good.
Indeed.
I think we can manage that. And he looks at the four of you and he says, "Is this everyone?"
No, we have Grant too. He's in bed, recovering from an injury to his arm. Do you want to go see him? I know where his room is.
No, I don't think that will be necessary. I've only built my machine for one, but I suppose we could all pile on.
We're very friendly.
There will be plenty of room for everyone.
A quarter, so
That's true.
What could go wrong?
And of course, we must bring Katsubu.
Yes, that's true. And I have a hat. Is that okay?
Yes, hats are permissible, of course. Well, very well then. As soon as your friend is feeling up to it, we can head off straight away.
Luckily, that should only be a matter of days.
Very good. I'll have the and he's kind of looking around and he looks at the laird and he says, "Sorry, do you have anyone here who can assist with moving my crates up from the ship?" And
I can help with that.
Yeah, McElroy looks a bit chagrined. He's like,
It's like all of my
I'll help too. I can help you.
servants are Californians now.
Well, very, very well. It's quite a large device. Take a bit of doing.
I have a good physique.
I'm sure we can see it done.
Yeah, Iskander's just quietly flexing his muscles.
It's doing the
doing
peck thing.
dance.
Yeah. Alrighty. Very good. So you head down to the village of Broderick, and with the help of Jock, who of course didn't leave, managed to get this massive crate unloaded from the ferry and onto a buggy, or not a buggy, but a wagon, and moved up to the castle. And so Grant, from your guest quarters, you watch as this gigantic 8-foot by 8-foot by 12-foot crate gets taken down off the back of a wagon in the back garden and starts being disassembled, and what is revealed as the packing straw is swept away is this very bizarre device that kind of looks like a deconstructed sled, with a single seat and a gigantic saucer-shaped object behind it, and all kinds of gears and levers and whatnot.
Don't like it.
I think Iskander and Astrid do like it. I have a feeling we're probably just looking at it all over.
Mm-hmm. Examining it closely already.
My tinkering is poor, so I imagine that implies my taste.
Definitely. Yeah, Astrid and Iskander are just doing the thing, it's following every curve, like it's a Bugatti or something, just whoa, this is amazing. And yeah, you can tell it is very well crafted, and seems to employ many strange and unknown tech in its construction.
I'm imagining like pupils, like feral cat with the zoomies dilated, you know. Just turning to him, how did it come to you?
Well, that's an interesting question, actually. I mean, it's a bit of a obsession of mine, initially in a fit of inspiration, and then I couldn't set it aside. I had to see it through, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
What do you mean, you people? No.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, how haunted does he look as he gazes off into the...
Quite.
The tax gifts on fire off the shoulder of Orion.
Mm-hmm. Quite so.
I've seen Haas make that face. I think it's just a face guys make sometimes.
Face guys make sometimes.
The old haunted stare.
Yep, the old 1,000-yard stare. The old time machine stare. So, yes, by the next day, Grant, you are healed up enough, that you can move about and do what you like.
I tell my wife that I'm gonna have to go away for a little while, but I want her to stay here in the castle, and I'll probably arrange with the Laird to put her up here until we get back. Spare no expense, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to tell her that I love her and kiss her deeply, passionately, and tell her I'm coming back. I'm never going to lose you again, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of tip my hat, just grab the brim a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess whenever we're ready. Are we leaving now? I guess I'm getting all dramatic.
Yeah, no time like the present,
That's right. Okay. Well, I say, yeah, I just kind of, yeah, that's right. I grab just the brim of my hat, tip it down a little bit, and walk out.
All right. Anyone else? Last minute things before you depart?
I'll just make sure that I have my map and fez and my bag, and there we go.
Map, fez, and bag. Okay.
Yep, tell Birdie to not wait up for me.
Yeah. Figure we just go get our effects and, as we prepare to embark for the unknown.
Okay.
Are we bringing luggage, or is this just us?
It's entirely up to you.
Is there room for luggage?
Hell no, but you can certainly try and squeeze some on.
Giant steamer trunk.
Yep.
And if my magic bag does not fit, then I will take just my little roll of instruments, my most prized instruments out of it.
Right.
I'll just carry Katsubu in like a little baby.
Now, my glamours are things that you can interact with, yes?
Sure.
Can I just glamour it bigger?
Ooh, interesting question. Make it a little larger for everybody. I don't see why
Make
not.
us a little smaller.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be cute if we all just fit in his pocket?
That would be really cute.
Pretty sure mine will wear off. But if
it
doesn't, that sounds pretty exciting.
The good news is it's all brass and wood, so it's not going to cause you any headaches. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I did go out of my way to make sure in the description, fez is all brass components, so it's Fae friendly.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Astrid, that's just so humane of you. Look at Grizzly.
Come on now.
Just terribly decent of you.
Okay, I think that and there's an image of the machine. I think that due to its complexity, you can certainly make an attempt at that. Pull these cards back here. So that would be. Is glamour always its own suit? I forget.
It is cups.
Cups. Okay. So it would need an extraordinary success, and a full success would be ideal. So that would be 16 points worth of cups.
And I am starting at 4.
Is your glamour average?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. No.
Okay. Let's start with this.
Okay. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Ace of Cups.
So that 15, right?
15 plus 4 is 19. Yep. So that gets you your full success.
Sweet.
Yep. If you want to try for 24, that would be a high success.
Unfortunately, I would have to ditch my whole hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just going to be content with it being good enough in the spirit of Grant.
All right. Cool. So, great. So yeah, you're able to glamour it so that it actually. We'll say that like it doesn't technically look bigger until you climb aboard, and then it's like suddenly there's plenty of room for everybody. You know.
Like a Hogwarts tent.
Perfect. Exactly. So, so indeed, you all load up. Katsaboo is there with you. Astrid's bag fits, no problem. And Haas, did you want to bring any luggage as well, since you asked?
Well, yeah, if there's a room, maybe a small suitcase with just a change of clothes and a few personal items.
Okay, sure. Mm-hmm. All right. So you all clamber aboard, and the time traveler takes his seat while the rest of you like hold on to any spare, support strut you can find. And he says, "I'm just going to take us back 2 years. That should be sufficient for your needs. What you'll see around you is the world changing. Do not be alarmed. This is completely normal. We are safe inside of the bubble created by this machine." And so there's like this little crystal knob that is up on the front of the thing, and he eases back on that, like just sort of a little bit, and sure enough, you can see the sun overhead begin to move a little faster across the sky, except it's going backwards, right? And then he pulls it down a bit more, and the sun like kind of shoots down behind the horizon, and the gets dark as night all of a sudden, and the moon pops up, and then he eases back on it yet more, and then now it's like day, night, day, night, day, night, and then he goes, "I really like to take this thing up, as fast as it can possibly go. It's quite a thrill." And then he just kind of jams the lever like down to an extent where it's just like, just a blur of light and darkness, And you're watching, there's a little counter, that's showing the date, and it's starting to like tick back at like a really fast rate,
I feel like Grizzly would start to get sick, and he would like probably in disbelief pull out like his pocket watch, and look at it, and but as he's kind of like sitting there, kind of like shaking in, he like drops it, and it flies out. He catches it by the chain, and it fucking turns into dust or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, my watch. All right. But yes, indeed, much as the time traveler promised, as long as you stay within the bubble, everything, time remains relatively fixed to your own normal sense of passage, right? And so so everything's kind of blurring past you. Just, as an aside for you as players, I think we've all had that experience where you're watching some streaming content, let's say, and you wanna back it up a little bit, and so you go back at a ×2 speed, but that's not really fast enough, so you go to ×4. You're like, what the hell, make it ×8. You know what, actually, let's make it ×16. And before you know it, you're kind of a little too far, right? I just mentioned that. I'm just mentioning that.
Before you know it, you're surrounded by dinosaurs.
I'm just going to put this right here. Don't worry about it. But this is right here.
You know how that happens?
Don't worry about it.
Not relevant. Don't worry.
Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, just some relatable. Yeah, just some relatable content.
Yeah, I'm just doing the relatable stand-up comedy. It's like, don't you hate it when you're trying to trying to rewind?
Speeds.
What is with these rewind? Why do they even go up to 32 times speed? Who needs to go that fast?
Just hit the restart button.
I think the 32 times speed was back in the grand old age of VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Because ain't nobody got time to rewind.
Mm-mm. No, sir. Although it does remind me of those really fancy rewinding machines they had at video stores, where you just put the tape in and it goes, and it's pretty much done.
They had the one that looks like a Corvette. You guys ever seen those?
Wow.
Little rewind machines.
A little too fancy for
Hey. Only the best.
Because sometimes you just can't wait to rewatch that movie you just watched, right? All right.
By those like Hastings back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Also,
all right.
Video just with the finger manually.
Oh man. All right. So, anyways, the time machine is whizzing away. The date is moving too fast to really see what it is displaying. And you even hear the time traveler kind of go, oopsie doodle, and then he moves the little crystal knob back up, and very, very quickly it starts, the blur begins to slow and resolve itself, and then you are hit by a blanket of humidity. You are in an atmosphere of oppressive, humid heat, and you are surrounded by strange, giant palm fronds and ferns, and you see this dog-sized dragonfly, sort of zipping along.
Oh, Rady called it.
It is amazing to see how much changes in just 2 years. I never would have thought Scotland would look this way, but it's astounding.
Grizzly's gonna reach for his gun.
El Nino season.
Yeah, that's El Nino. Ding dang, climate change.
Climate change. Literally, we just went through it.
You did.
Yeah, Grizzly's gonna reach into his jacket and pull out his revolver, ready to alter time forever.
Yeah, so the time traveler is looking at the display on his clock, and it's showing this ludicrously massive negative number, and he says, "Oh dear, not again! The last time it was the future," So he says, "I'll just need a moment to recalibrate. Excuse me. I'll get us back. Don't worry."
I'm just Jack Skeletoning all over the place. I'm like, what's this?
Yeah, can we get
traipsing over everything?
All right. Can we get out? Is he like?
Yeah. No, he says feel free to look around a bit. This will just take me a few moments.
Jurassic Park this, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well.
I'm already laying on a triceratops listening to it.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, I guess just looking around, and I mean, I'm back into hunter survival mode. Y'all are about to call me Velociraptor Grant here in a little bit.
Have a go. Velociraptor Grant.
That's what they call me.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Right, yeah. Not as good.
We'll start calling you Velociraptor Vinny.
There you go.
You need that alliteration in there.
How long did it take from our perspective for all that to transpire?
Like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I was wondering if like Haas needed to stretch his legs a bit or something, like if you were there for a while.
Oh, right. No, you're good. You're good. Astrid has already run off and is, examining the xenobotany or whatnot. The paleobotany, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm probably running after Astrid, being like, "Come here, Astrid, get over here."
Like a dog. Hey!
Astrid,
get back here.
Astrid, get back here.
And then I'm running in the other
No,
direction.
but look at
like,
that.
oh, look at this.
Yeah. Everyone's going, then I'll probably go and just go for a walk in another direction. Cats and
God. I'm waiting on the meteor to fucking streak through the sky.
Yeah, Catsubi's chasing a dragonfly that's like 3 times bigger
than the cat. Yeah.
Carried off.
Eating primitive primates.
Right, yeah.
How about Iskander?
I feel like I would be maybe cautiously exploring the immediate area because this is a very strange turn of events and not necessarily, relevant to my interests as much as my compatriots. So I'd be a little cautious, somewhat more like Grant. Like this can't be safe.
Yeah,
there's danger lurking about. There has to be.
Okay. Perhaps there is. All right. Yeah, science happens, asterisk. All right. So, yeah, you're wandering about, and my dice rolling instincts are like, clawing at my brain. I'm like, I must have random encounters. Let me throw down a random card from the deck. We'll do that.
No.
All right. I'll make sure to shuffle it first. And let's see what we get. The King of Pentacles, eh? Let's see here. Mental and intellectual activities. Okay. That's cool. So, Astrid.
Yes.
You do indeed find plenty of interesting, specimens to examine. And I don't know if you want to take any samples or not, or.
Of course I would. Of course.
All right. So that's fine. You're able to take quite a few, since I got King of Pentacles.
So, I assume I take here's a leaf and blah, 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 and here's this little, thing of dung that I probably found. I'm keeping that. Would it be possible to find a small, not dinosaurial size, creepy crawly that I could put in a jar?
Oh, definitely.
Right. I would like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about giant millipedes a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It turns out to be a baby, so.
I'll just wear it like a boa once it grows up.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. So you find a little giant pill bug,
Oh, that's so cute.
Is that a roly-poly? Is that what that is?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Let's just keep that going then.
Astrid, put that down. You don't know where that's
look
been.
How cute it is, and I point it at you, and all its little legs are doing its thing.
Oh God.
Right, well, I did just deal Ace of Cups, so the pill bug does look at you, and it does look awfully cute. It's got little hearts for eyes, So.
Okay, well, it is pretty cute. Got a certain familiarity about it. This is my great-great-grandfather.
Looks just like Benedict Cumberbatch. All right. The sun. Interesting. The heat is oppressive. The humidity and the oxygen levels in the atmosphere are much greater than anything you've ever encountered, any of you. Even if there was a great explorer amongst your ranks, it would be much more than they had ever experienced themselves. So it is actually getting kind of uncomfortable to be here.
We just need to get back to the machine and see if our friend has fixed it.
Oh, but Grant, this is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see something you've never seen before.
And we done seen it. I sound like my grandpa.
We done seen it.
They ain't got McDonald's here.
We'll go home. I'll do better than McDonald's.
That's right. All right, yeah. I'm going to start walking back. I'm like, come on, we got to go. We got a mission here.
All right. So as you...
Put the little isopod under my fez.
Nice. Sorry, what was Frederick doing? Was he just straight chilling?
Just wandering, just going for a stroll.
All right, cool.
No real purpose to it.
Let's see what he gets. Okay. There we go.
Is that what I... death?
Yeah, that'd be death.
I'm sorry. Well,
I knew what it was because I could hear Santi laugh yelling from the other room.
Well, the card was so small until you blew it up. Like, what am I looking at there? Oh,
that would be death. That'd be death. Okay, so Frederick, as you are traipsing through the jungle, your keen ears detect the sound of something very large coming your way. Smashing down undergrowth, tree branches, etc. A little flight of strange feathered lizards, comes bursting out of the brush, flushed by this noise, flies over your head. Katsubu tries to jump up and grab one of them, misses.
Well, Katsubu doesn't seem worried, so I'll, kind of step to the side a bit, but just watch. Maybe lean up against a large fern, kind of observe whatever might be happening.
Okay, all right. So maybe about 30 yards ahead of you, a rather massive bipedal monstrosity emerges from the thicker parts of the jungle. It is walking on two legs, but with its overall sort of posture being very kind of horizontal. It's a large fanged mouth sticking out ahead of it and a very large tail behind it. It has some little tufts of feathery growths coming out of its back and its skull, but it looks around with these very odd eyes. They're kind of forward set eyes, and they narrow on you.
Is Katsubu still around?
Yes, and at this point, Katsubu has turned to face this thing and is arching his back.
Okay, I'm going to snatch up Katsubu and break into a sprint.
Okay, let's turn this into a little chase. Let's spice it up.
All right.
This and that. Okay. So let's see here. This will obviously be a physique test.
Oh, goody.
So this thing has a great physique.
Average.
Okay. All right. What can you do to beat my great physique?
Well,
We need
as you know,
wands.
my hand is.
Yes, as mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. A little foreshadowing.
Haha.
Okay. Great, huh? Well, I can do nothing except dump my hand, I guess. So we'll see what happens here. But there's my wands there. It looks like it's a 4 of wands. And then I have a page of cups, which is 1 point, 3 of cups, another point, and a 3 of swords.
Okay, all right. So that gets you up to 11 total. That does beat my great. However, I would be remiss as the host if I didn't play a wands card myself here.
Would you, though?
I mean, technically, we can only die if we agree to it, so you'll just be horribly maimed.
That's right. You'll just be crunched on a little bit. Yeah.
Join the club.
This is just the faster, must go faster moment. That's all.
Now, do you let out any kind of, like, cry for help?
Any kind of womanly shriek, perhaps?
Probably not. I'm mostly concerned for Ketsubu, not for myself. I just know, like, Ketsubu's he's a little, I know he can run fast, but he might not. Obviously, if he's arching his back, he might be in some kind of weird, frozen, fight or flight sort of state. So I probably won't say anything until I get closer, and then call out in sort of a calm voice, "Oh, monster! Monster!"
That would get me. I'd be like, huh?
Monster, 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 everyone.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, Freddie, what did you find?
Oh, it's found me.
Can we all see this thing now?
I found one too full.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah. As soon as it found me, and then like just bursting out of the undergrowth, is this rather large carnivorous beast, which gives a roar of delight as it sees many other little hairless crunchables that it can feast on, and
I may never get another opportunity. I feel like I have to shoot this thing.
Yeah. When the opportunity comes up to shoot a dinosaur in the face,
you have I've never.
Yeah, the slow motion scene is like Astrid going, "It's so cute," and then you just like racking your gun.
I'm like,
honestly, it's probably more scared of us than we are of it.
Are your last words before you are devoured?
Right, yeah.
But I would probably like look to the time traveler, to Captain Plaid, and be like, how much longer do you need? Do you need any help with anything? How are you doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's equally as terrified, Crikey! Yeah. And
crikey.
Pardon me, kind sir. How much longer for the repairs? You see, it's come to my attention that there might be a slight sense of urgency in this regard, and I wanted to inquire after it with some immediacy. I feel like Iskander would definitely run to the defense to try to taunt this thing. So he'd probably dash up like like Astrid was saying. There's the slow motion scene I guess she was describing where she's like, "It's so cool," and Grant is like pulling out and like fanning the hammer back. So as part of that, simultaneously, if possible, he'd be dashing towards it, scooping up like a rock, if you could, of a good size. And
what about your gauntlet?
I mean, I'm not going to run up and shake hands with that thing and try to shock it, especially in this.
You got to
just slap it across the face.
Yeah, you got to
jump on its back and
sits pad that they have.
I have to get its attention first, one thing, and the second thing is this is going to be fantastic because on the one hand, this is an oxygen-rich environment, so arcing electricity might not be the best idea. The other hand, right, we don't know that, number one. Number two, we're all really high from all the oxygen. So
imagining your eyes calculating all fast before you.
Right, it's all flying past all these equations and shit like that. All I know right now is I have to get this thing's attention because I might be able to distract it, lead it away, and all that kind of thing. So scooping up a rock with the intention of yeeting it right into its eye socket or something, or chipping a fang or whatever, getting its attention. Not necessarily doing like real harm, just, look at me.
Now, this thing is not so unlike a very large angry goose.
Good point.
I mean, technically, it's what it's most similar to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
To a giant goose in
Go
the
on.
past. Can I shapeshift to be one of it, but bigger?
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Let's see.
And it's like,
We need a distraction. I know.
and you're like,
well,
yonk.
So here's the thing. My imagination sucks. I've only seen this thing once.
Uh-huh.
And so I will say my shapeshift is good.
Okay.
I'm going to throw down, that requires a wands. I'm going to add my page of wands to that. But I feel like I'm going to get more of an impression of it rather than like a very good copy of it. And so it's most likely going to be something a little bit more like this. Oh, wow, don't mind that massive text stream. But...
Oh, yeah, stupid Google images.
I know.
Like a Gumby version of a T-Rex.
Something a child rendered. Again,
with
impressions.
The beak of a goose.
I might fill it in with a little bit of goose imagery because it does have the feathers, and I know that better.
Got a really long neck.
So maybe it's just more of like a
terrifying.
really, really big goose, and I'll adopt my hissing stance.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
That would work really well.
Does its like roar, roar, and then like you're like, oh yeah, and there's like honk, back at it
like a Mack truck. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all like covering our ears, like, oh.
Hair's getting blown back.
Yeah, I'm just picturing Frederick like completely emotionless, but his hair is just like flying back, like all anime style.
If all you need is a distraction, geese are distracting.
Very true. All right, so that does indeed bring this Saurian up short. It's not sure entirely what to do. And at that point, Katsubu actually runs between the two of you, and you see before your very eyes, he multiplies in size as well to like the size of a horse. But he's like Battle Cat, style.
It turned purple.
Like the lightning bolts in his fur on the side.
I'm like, Katsubu, oh!
And then he begins to make like weird little like meow growl and chirps and whatnot. It's like almost as if he's talking to the beast. And the dinosaur kind of cocks its head a little bit and blinks a couple times and then just turns around and stalks away.
It got lucky.
Yeah, Grant like eases the hammer back.
That's right.
It got lucky.
We were
Like, I
poised
scared
to
it
kick
off.
that thing's ass.
So Haas is there with his arms folded and head tilted looking at Katsubu. And Katsubu, you have some splaining to do.
Iris fade out.
And so yeah, very very shortly, in the next moment, Katsubu is like back down to his normal size, and comes over and kind of does a little figure eight between your legs, rubbing up against you.
I think I would like to opt to stay a giant goose until I know that we're ready to go.
Probably
A good
a
call.
good idea. Yeah.
Stay on the lookout, yeah. So Katsubu is, of course, I believe it's Keishi, Caitsith.
Oh, yeah.
So he has the ability to rule the animals, is what it's called. The ability to communicate with and bend the wills of animals to your bidding.
What was that again? He's a
Keishi.
Yeah. For Final Fantasy VII fans, that'd be a Kate Sith.
Yes, that's right. Kate Sith. It's like when your friend Kate becomes a Sith Lord.
That's right.
But yeah, his normal form is actually quite large and scary.
Okay. Well, I'll give him a little pat. Good job, Katsu.
All right. Mm-hmm. But yes, clearly knowing what you know about fairy diplomacy, he's been assigned to you.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on who did the assigning.
That's a good question.
Yes. I'm glad you asked. I don't know. But that would certainly be something to find out. But
Well, these guys are cool.
indeed. So in the same moment, the time traveler says, "All right, we're all set to go. Don't worry, we'll be out of here in a moment. Everybody on board, please."
Yeah, let's get the heck out of here.
All right.
Yeah.
Breksta back into Breksta form, and you all clamber aboard.
Well, I don't know if where we're going has more of these things, then I really feel like it might be better if I just stay the giant goose. I'm imagining I'll take some like convincing, like no.
Right, yeah, it's like this should be a one-time thing, but it's good to know that you got this form on lockdown.
I just do the nest squat on top of all of us to keep us safe.
The main thing is that although the machine itself can accommodate you, it still has its like finite bubble around it. So I think a giant goose would probably, although you could shrink down, you could stay in goose form and shrink down.
I can just make myself a smaller goose, a left goose.
Exactly.
That's all right. Who wants to be a normal-sized goose? I'm sure that I can be convinced that this was like a one-off kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "I'm terribly sorry. I do get carried away. I just love the speed of this thing. But I promise I'll get you back on time. No worries. Let's see, what was that again? October 1869, correct? That's what we were aiming for."
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, very good, very good. All right, everybody hold on, and here we go one more time.
Is that right?
I don't even know what time it is in real life or in game anymore.
All right, so he begins to advance the little crystal knob yet again, and you watch as the surroundings sort of blur and disappear, and and then this time he's going a little slower, so you can actually keep an eye on the tally of the years as they go by, and you watch the negative numbers go, lower and lower, and then eventually switch over to positive numbers, and and then he's slowing it down, and then he finally turns it off. It's August 1869. He says, "Well, that's close enough."
Yeah, Wait, is it? I think we overshot it.
No, you wanted 2 years prior, right?
Yeah, I guess we did, but...
All right, well, here you are.
Well, all right.
So, based off the midweek taster, Alex, that you posted earlier, I'm not sure if August counts as late summer or not.
So I think that would fit kind of right in there. So arriving, you said it was August 1869?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much right in there. I didn't really specify, so you could work it either way, I think.
All right, well, it's just up to you whether that's uncomfortably close to certain life events.
If it is or isn't, I guess we'll find out.
Indeed we will. So, you are still on the Isle of Arran, obviously. The time machine moves through time, but not space necessarily. And so it is up to you all to book passage to Transylvania.
So, 2 years, right?
If it's August now, though, it'll take us a while to get there, right?
True. Maybe a good month or so.
Okay, so that would probably put us after the events.
Mm-hmm. Like just after.
Yeah. Just after, yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How long would it take by airship, since my brothers would be able to get us access to that? Because I know how much Grant would love to go on an airship.
This whole trip making me queasy.
Faster, for sure. Like maybe a couple weeks. Or a week, even.
Oh, jeez. Well,
depends on how much of a rush you're in, I guess.
I mean, if we can get there before all the gold is stolen, we'd catch somebody red-handed. That's what I would like.
Or we can just get it and then he never gets it to begin with.
That's right. Yeah, I would like that too.
Okay, good. So, airship it is then. Now, does Grant have like a phobia of airships, or?
It's not a phobia. He just hates heights.
Oh, okay. So as long as you're like safely stowed beneath.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably suffers like same thing, like the equivalent of seasickness.
Mm-hmm,
like he probably gets queasy. He probably throws up. Doesn't handle it very well, but he can live.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, as long as you're okay with it, I'm sure everyone else is.
Well, I mean, I don't think Grant has much of a choice because he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to happen. The path there is just an uncomfortable one. So, but he's done it before, so he'll do it again.
All right. So Astrid makes travel arrangements for an airship transport. And you all get aboard when it arrives and begin to fly off into the setting sun, eastern bound for Transylvania. And that is where we will leave it off this week. For next week, Chapter 3, The Search for Dracula's Gold.
Oh, God, yes.
Yay!
Yes.
No consequences. It'll be
nothing bad could possibly happen. We're going to rob Dracula.
Okay.
You do.
Let's make it a mugging. Yeah, I want to. It took all of me when you said Dracula not to. Even though I saw the Dracula NPC character sheet get made,
yeah,
I still wanted to get up and run around the living room.
Hey man, we're finishing this off, so it's like you got to go all in. You got to have some Lost World dinosaur action. You got to have some Dracula action.
That's right.
Got to have some time traveler action.
I want to see how big my roly-poly grows. Can I ride it around? This is the question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Has your... Oh, you know what? I just thought of...
But
how...
once it's back in the, new atmosphere...
I'll be fine.
You just have to build... You have to build a little terrarium for him. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
And just his little legs stick out like this.
Has studying the roly-poly made you what's your Fez guy called?
Fez.
Oh, Fez. Okay, yeah. Are you now looking at like Fez 2.0, like the long Fez?
Fez is Fez. He's good. I have some things that I'm planning on adding on because he's not finished, but he's great.
Okay.
But yeah, if my new chonky boy has trouble in the new atmosphere, then I'll have to make him a little bubble boy. That'll be fine too. Everything's gonna be fine.
Get him like one of those 50s space helmets.
Yeah.
Just like a deep diver helmet.
There you go.
Yeah.
A hamster ball, yeah.
I can roll it around all over the place with his many legs.
Ugh, I don't like the legs.
Legs. Why did it have
It
to be
is-
legs?
The weirdest part about like holding the like giant millipede boys, it's like because of the way it like grips your skin, like so that they don't fall. So yeah, it feels very strange.
Thing Velcro.
Not interested. Just
Is that a hard pass, I hear?
just a hard pass right there. Just throwing it down on the table.
Not interested. But yeah, for you dinosaur nerds out there, that was a Megalosaurus, which was native to Europe. So there you go. And also the first dinosaur fossil ever discovered.
Wow. That's pretty cool. We could have made that
Very
fossil.
exciting.
You could have made it.
We
Yeah,
could have made that fossil.
You could have, but you
Seems
didn't.
to be bullet holes in this fossil.
Right, yeah, then it's discovered with like a bullet
Ballistics.
lodged in its skull.
That's
A fossilized bullet, yeah.
Yeah, it says Grizzly Grant was here. WUZ.
Yeah, it just perpetuates the wrong timeline of dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, if you killed the dinosaur, I mean, you want to talk about butterfly effect, that would have had some interesting. You would have come back as, I don't know, burrito people or something.
We're all
Delicious.
Draculas.
You're all Draculas. You're on a Dracula world.
Yeah, the real Dracula is the only one that isn't a Dracula.
Right,
Just
yeah.
a normal guy.
Now it's
He look-
like Legend.
He looked like Vincent Price,
You better be working on a cool Dracula voice, David. I know you are.
Oh, shit.
That's right.
And it better be
Got
Vincent
1
Price.
week to practice.
It better be Vincent Price impression.
No, it should be a Gary Oldman impression since, that
Oh,
was
there you
the,
go.
Ooh,
There you go.
nice.
that was
No,
the
I just think he
literary
needs to go
one,
like
right?
bleh, bleh a lot.
There you go.
A Bela Lugosi, I guess.
Yeah, I'll do my salute to the Spanish language 1931 Dracula, and I'll just speak in Spanish. Yo soy Dracula, etc.
Yo soy Dracula, etc.
Bleh.
There's your bumper sticker.
Yeah.
That should be the title for the next.
Yo soy Dracula, etc.
Spanish Dracula. Escucha. Los niños de la noche. Shit like that. It's gonna be great.
Que dulce música.